expect you will see more me in my speech. I was alone alive. The life was woven by myself with my great ambition and foolish self-understanding. Wow, it sounds very common. But to admit the final conclusion is not that easy for me. Now, I will tell you more. It dated back to the time when I was 12 years old. I transferred to an elementary school in Northern Ireland because of a precious opportunity that my mom studied for her PhD degree there. I stayed there with my mom for 7 months until she submitted her essay. Unfortunately, my English was so poor that I, just like a mute, was always alone. I walked to school alone, remained silent on the seat alone, and after school, I played with my football alone. That unforgettable experience was deeply buried in my mind as a seed of individualism. Then I came back to Taiwan for studying in junior high school. I had a bit difficulties getting along with girls, but without difficulties with boys. Soon I became the leader of a nonsense talking group and started my joyful and fruitful school life. At that time, the most worth anticipating thing before I slept was to go to school the next day. Because the next day I could talk with my friends about the stupid stories, jokes, girls, and gossips. Even though they seem like nonsense now, but they are my proud scar of being a naive child. The seed of individualism remained untouched until my third year of junior high school. I read a life-changing novel called The Legend is Lonely, whose Chinese name is 高手寂寞. As the name indicated, the story plot was about becoming a legend with eternal tranquility in the heart and without rest and entertainment. The supervision on oneself was quite strict because to become a legend, a genius might even fall. Only by concentrating all the time and efforts on one thing would there be some chances for a common person just like me. But it was just a fiction. How come I took it so seriously? Whatever the reason, I was serious and put that philosophy into practice. I became more silent. However, the high school entrance exam was approaching, so it was not big deal to not to say too many words, but to study hard instead. Then I entered high school, a period of time when legends arose with their formidable academic performance, or simply the ranking. To become one of the legends, one must survive in the battlefield of college entrance exam with as higher ranking as possible. Due to the fact mentioned above, I told myself a lie. you should sacrifice all your time and energy spent on getting along with your classmates for your study. Because the high school is like a cage, and you just perch here for 3 years. And at last, you will flap your wings and fly in the university. But now, you just study. And everything will be different, and you will not be alone in the university. I firmly believe in this lie. As a result, I became to be more and more silent. In the beginning, things were quite difficult because when others seemed to be happy together, I seemed to be sad alone. And when it came to team grouping, I always pretended that I paid no attention to it, and subsequently joined the last team with the rest of people. It sounds pathetic, and it was indeed pathetic. But to dig out the true self-understanding from the pathetic was the treasure I earned. Finally, the university life came, and I not surprisingly found out the lie was truly a lie. I'm still alone. Walking alone, studying alone, thinking alone, and writing alone. Everything is still the same. But there's one thing different. I'm happier with myself. Looking back on the things before, I think the philosophy of the novel was like water. And with watering, the seed of individualism budded and grew in my high school time. Finally, the seed has become a tree under which I sit pleasant alone. Now, I admit the truth that I don't like seeing too many people around me doing meaningless things. And at that time, I like to be alone. Now, I'm worrying that after this speech, no one will talk to me. But I just say what I want to say. And I think students in NTU have the ability to think independently. If you think I'm worth knowing, then it's my pleasure to know you. If you think I am ridiculous, then I'd rather be alone. I was alone, alive. Now, I'm still alone the truth, but very satisfied. TME.